By the time Mavis Mbaso, who lives in Lusaka, cooks lunch, she's also done most of the day's chores and is exhausted. In the past, she would have to slave through some more hours in smoke just to get her family's lunch ready using charcoal, until she started using a Save 80 stove. Now her meals are ready faster. It takes about 15 minutes to boil 8 liters of water. The stove uses twigs and got its name from the fact that it uses 80% less wood or charcoal than an ordinary stove. Nowadays, Mavis usually has some extra time to sit down and eat with her family before getting on with the rest of her day.
The Save 80 stove is much better than charcoal because when you use it there are no fumes and you can even cook inside the house. With charcoal, you get terrible headaches when you use it inside the house.
The stove is manufactured by a locally based German company called Climate Management Limited. It was originally commissioned by the United Nations for use in refugee camps, but is now also being used by about 40,000 people in Africa. Claude Trifelner, Climate Management's director, explained how the stove works.
It is a stainless steel cook stove which technology is based on a very intelligent airflow system. It doesn't use a ventilator, it's just by a thermodynamically developed airflow system. It has a lower and an upper reflector which avoids that heat is lost, and it makes it possible to use only very small twigs, so the amount of wood which is needed to cook your food is reduced by more than 80%. Tests have shown that with 1 kg of wood you can cook up to 50 people.
About 17 households in Lusaka have a Save 80 stove, but the manufacturing company wants to sell 180,000 stoves in the country. Right now, one costs about $320 US, which is quite expensive for the average family, so most people pay Climate Management in installments. The company's field officers, like Rachel Manda, go door to door to advertise and check how clients are doing.
We make sure how they should know how to use the Save 80, and mostly how to cook. Some they say they don't know how to use it with beans, how to boil water, if it's cooking shima, maybe the stove you can cook in shima, if you can prepare shima with the stove.
This thing is very good. I used to use charcoal and I was spending a lot of money, but now I'm using the Save 80 and I've saved a lot.
Environmentalists are encouraging the use of the Save 80 stove as it also helps conserve the environment. In Africa, forests are being cut down for human settlement and fuel. Though governments are doing their best to stop the deforestation, it may already be too late in some countries where the effects of climate change, like floods and drought, are already being experienced. Professor Emmanuel Chidumayo is a Zambian ecologist.
By replacing the use of charcoal, Zambia will be reducing its carbon dioxide emissions by somewhere around 130,000 tons per annum, which is a big step towards curbing global warming and emissions.
In Zambia, a tin of charcoal costs about $4 US, but many charcoal sellers complain that it isn't as readily available as it used to be.
There's no charcoal nowadays. We need to go further to find it.
Because it's relatively cheap, charcoal is still preferred by many middle and lower income households, even though most of those we talked to, like Pamela Sakala, had heard of the Save 80 stove.
I
have no choice. Charcoal is what I use. I have heard of other stoves, but I don't have one, and I don't know how to use it.
I don't use the Save 80 because you have to continuously feed it with twigs. You also have to wash it. I don't know how to wash the pot that comes with it, and how will I grill my meat? It can't be done with the Save 80.
As much as people here need to be educated about the benefits of using environmentally friendly cooking methods, alternatives like the Save 80 stove need to be made affordable. Otherwise, many Zambians have no choice but to keep using what they can.